As you might expect, former San Diego City Councilman and the chairman of Reform California also has some thoughts of his own on the judge's ruling. And Carl DeMaio joins us more. He's got some more on that. Carl, good to see you. What do you think about this judge's ruling? Where did they get it wrong?
Well, it's completely wrong. It's garbage, and it's nothing more than the smokescreen, the vehicle by which these politicians have long sought to overturn the will of the voters. What they're basically saying here is that an initiative where we collected 125,000 signatures, citizens drafted the initiative, collected 125,000 signatures, placed it on the ballot, voted on it, overwhelmingly approved it by a 2/3 vote. 65% of San Diegans voted in favor of Prop B for pension reform. That measure somehow needs to now be thrown out because, ready for it? Mayor Jerry Sanders endorsed it. Mayor Jerry Sanders had the audacity to endorse a citizens initiative. That's all they're claiming. That's all they have to go on. And that's why this is a fatally flawed legal decision. And it's nothing more than a contrived vehicle to overturn the will of the voters. Nothing in the state constitution says that the citizens' right of initiative to place things on the ballot, to govern how their tax dollars are spent, to impose reform on politicians at the ballot box, nothing in the sacred right of the citizens' initiative somehow is contingent or encumbered by a politician taking a position on said initiative. This is a laughable decision on its face. A first-year law student cannot understand how they got this decision to be approved by a judge, but here we are.
Looks like the judge looked at this state law. It says it requires government officials to confer in good faith with public employees' unions about wages and other terms of employment. Looks like the judge is maybe looking at that saying there was no good faith discussion and therefore it's illegal. But then you point out the fact that it was a citizens initiative. It's
a citizens initiative. The law that he's pointing out is a state law, Myers-Milius-Brown Act. And that state law is subservient, is secondary, has to bow to the California state constitution. In the California state constitution, citizens of cities like San Diego and the state have a right to put measures on the ballot. They do not have to go through meet and confer. They don't have to ask permission of the government labor union bosses. They are the owners of the corporation. They are the citizens. They have the constitutional right to place anything they want on the ballot anytime they want, subject to no restriction by labor unions. That's why this is so infuriating, Logan. The fact that the judge seems to try to insert some sort of right of the labor union bosses to have a veto over citizens' initiatives. That's why we cannot accept this ruling. We must continue to fight. And look at what has now happened in the city. We are on the brink of a financial crisis because of COVID-19. The city politicians are overspending their budget. And now they're going to add to that by restoring lavish gold-plated pensions to government workers that have not contributed for these pensions for the last 10 years. That will bankrupt our city. And now the politicians are saying, yeah, well, we're going to do it. And the way we'll pay for it is we're going to raise your taxes. Make no mistake about it. Todd Gloria is going to back a tax increase, a sales tax increase. He will cut services as long as the government union bosses are happy. That will be the name of the game at City Hall. That's why, Logan, this initiative was so special. It was the citizens saying, no, you politicians aren't in charge. You labor union bosses aren't in charge. We will impose reform from the outside. And what we're saying is that government employees should get a retirement benefit that is no better and no worse than the hardworking taxpayers that foot the bill. That's what they got with Prop B, a very fair, affordable, sustainable retirement benefit. And it's time that we stand up for the will of the voters. I'm going to continue to fight for the will of the voters. And I know the citizens are not going to sit by idly and allow this to happen.
Well, we'll see what does happen. In fact, I wonder if it's going to go to the appellate court or we'll see some more legal discussion about it. Carl DeMaio, founder of Reform California. Carl, great to see you. Thanks for the info. Appreciate it.